shows in one day. AML. We got to be nuts. But we're going, I'm going to show it on here, but we're going back to Eden, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Jeff, last time I was there, I was 18 years old. I wrestled Luthez.
Luthez.
That's a true story. So you tell me that ain't a full circle to go back to Eden, just miles down the road from where Luthez beat me up. Circle to go back.
We are live.
Live. Should I be in here? Should I be in the shot yet?
Yeah, you're in the shot.
Oh, I'm in the shot.
Man, I'm gonna fix that camera a little more. I thought I had it fixed, but I don't.
Remember last time I was here, I had the big yellow, the orange, silver cape on.
Yeah.
Looked like Jiffy Lip popcorn last time I was here. I don't have that now. I got my Harley race jacket.
All right.
That's
okay,
Are we
isn't it?
official? Yeah, that's very good.
I need to get more George sounds unless Jeff Clayton.
I took off our seat.
There you go.
We're getting fixed. We getting
Yeah, I
fixed.
think we're fixed now.
We are in the office.
We got some break on through brew right
Yes, we
here
do.
in the
This
foreground.
is like my third glass. Third glass. Last time we did this, someone said, "What are y'all drinking?" I said, "That's a secret. That's a secret."
Secret. Well, Adam Wolf is with us. Alan is with us. Come on.
They already coming on.
Everybody come on in.
We are official.
I'm going to give it a few seconds.
Yes, sir.
So you can all get in here. Jamie says she loves you, George.
Oh, I love you, Jamie. Jamie just saw me dance with
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy. I got to talk about that.
Man.
The Enigma.
Yeah, well, see, he was hurt so bad from dancing that we had to, me and the First Lady had to both carry him in here.
Yeah, you sure did. I pulled my back out and everything. I got so much to talk about that.
I know you do.
Juggalo George, that's right. He's here.
Juggalo
Hey,
George,
Edward.
he knows all the chords. There's Brandon Yeti, our road dog.
Oh, yeah. All good friends
Mondo
of mine.
Braswell.
Yep.
Erica. Clinton Zilla's here with us.
Oh, great. Clinton, good. Man, them all, I've become friends with every one of them through you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a true story, buddy.
Yes, sir. There's Jamie.
You see that? Whoop, whoop. I
Yep.
got so much
Whoop, whoop.
to tell you about that. I learned a whole book on just whoop, whoop now. I didn't know what it meant. Now I'm official. Y'all in trouble.
Well,
y'all in trouble tonight.
as if you didn't know already, you are here on Break On Through Live with my special guest, Mr. Number One, the Bootleg Preacher, the one and only George
Yes.
South.
Yes.
George, always a pleasure to have
Thank
you here
you.
on Break
Thank you,
On
my
Through,
friend.
man.
Thank you so much. Official Juggaloo George has just landed. Buddy, Jeff, I got so much to tell people. I've learned so much. Listen, I'm dressed up to the hilt. Listen, this, folks, official ICP jewelry. Okay? This thing's going for $600. That was a week ago. Okay? It's going to put my grandbaby through college. Anyway, I told them I wasn't selling it, but we may sell it before the program's over.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Now, I'm going to go ahead and be upfront and honest with you. I have worked security for many of the Juggalo bands. I never worked security for ICP proper. But I've worked for a lot of their bands under their umbrella. I'm not a big fan of Juggalo music.
Right.
But, that being said,
Man.
anybody that shows you the respect that Violent J has shown you
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I mean that.
is okay in my book.
Yes,
You hear me?
man.
They get my respect.
Jeff, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't realize how long they've been around. Man, you were talking about that earlier. They've been around.
It's been around for a very long time.
Forever. Yes. And what was so amazing is I had, of course, they put my kids through school. I never listened to their music. I knew they were big wrestling fans. I don't think I'd ever even met them. I didn't even know how many they were, like 4, 5, 2, whatever. I didn't know what ICP or even the Juggalos were. And it all started 2 years ago. I've shared this story so many times as I got to meet. We brought WrestleK, the big event we do in Winston-Salem in November, 4 days, and Violent J was our guest, and so he had came in and full face paint, man, just gimmick larger than life. I had never met the man. We never spoke, and then I got word that that I may get an opportunity to meet him, and then I wanted to pray with him. And I'm gonna tell you, Jeff. Everybody knows me, knows my story, but I love to pray. And I walked up. Now, he had an entourage. If you think Elvis and Michael Jackson had an entourage, I didn't know where IC stopped and the P started. That's how many people he had. And Lord, I said, you got to be kidding me. And they go everywhere with him. Right. So I said, well, okay, Lord, I'm going to pray with this man right now before this huge show. But how am I even going to get to him? And there's no better thing, Jeff. I got right up. I walked right in. It's like Moses part of the Red Sea. I walked right to him, and I looked right at him. I know what to call him, Violent J. I don't know what to call him, and at that time I didn't know whoop whoop. Okay, you got to remember that. That's a very important part of this story.
All right,
I didn't remember whoop whoop. Okay, I didn't know what. I'd never heard of that. So anyway, I asked him, could I pray with him? Okay, and he said yes. He said, please pray with me. And Jeff, for me, all the years I've been praying, for me to be able to pray with this man was so special to me. It opened up a door. We exchanged numbers, and we have. I'll be dropping his name many times tonight on this episode, just to rub it in. Nah, but we have become good friends, and that opened a door for him to invite me to the gathering of the Juggalos. And I'm gonna tell you, folks, listen to me. What he told me was, he said, George, he said, I know you did a lot of big shows for Dusty Rhodes, Great American Bash, the Bunkhouse Stampedes. He said, I know you've seen some big stuff. He said, but you ain't never seen nothing like what you fixing to see. Now, we all say that, Jeff, as promoters. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. I was at the Great American Bash and in Charlotte, 26,000 people. Flair came down in a helicopter. What is ICP going to show me? Folks, let me tell you something. You can't even imagine. And see, I just didn't want to go up there as a guest, and there's wrestling involved. They're big wrestling fans. There is a Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Okay, so we're kind of all entwined in through pro wrestling. Folks, you've always heard me say pro wrestling is the universal language. It really is. There's people that may not even know your name, but they got a wrestling story. Right. If they're true, everybody's got a wrestling story. You know that? Everybody. Whether it was back in the day or Ric Flair or whatever. So anyway, so he invites me. I'm going there to wrestle, but I'm going to be in the woods. Folks, listen to me. And I know they say, yeah, you wrestlers exaggerate. But when I tell you this is in the woods of Ohio, Jeff, it's in the woods of Ohio. Buddy, you're going down the interstate, you hang a left, all of a sudden at the exit, you go down a dirt road. It's like an episode of Walking Dead when it was good, okay? Yeah, not towards the end when nobody was watching, but I'm talking about Walking Dead when it was the hottest thing on television, okay? Right. And all of a sudden here's this fence. Not like a little fence around your house, but it's just, kind of a privacy fence. And Jeff, the most amazing things is I told you earlier, you and your beautiful wife, is you see dinosaurs. Folks, I'm not making this up. And I'm not talking little bitty dinosaurs. I'm talking about Jurassic Park dinosaurs. And they're so lifelike, and they're planted all in the woods. So I'm not even out of the car yet. I ain't seen one Juggalo, or I ain't seen one ICP, but I've seen like 8 dinosaurs. So I know this is going to be great. And folks, listen, anybody that knows me knows I was so excited. I was so pumped. And the sole purpose that I went is to just give out Bibles. And everybody knows how much I love to do that. I rescued Bibles many years ago, and I just clean them up. And so I had 2 old school book bags. A Spider-Man and an Iron Man. Now, nothing looks more Juggalo-ish than this old redneck from Gastonia with a Iron Man book bag. Now, if that don't get me through the gate, nothing will. Okay? So, I had these 2 big book bags. Now, I did have my wrestling gear. I packed the least amount that I could because I did not know what was going on. I'd heard that people just camp in the woods, they're in the trees, and I was so excited to just jump in with both feet. So anyway, we arrive in Ohio, Jeff. The little lady at the front gate, a little pistol, Barney Fife, giving me trouble. Okay, I'm thinking, Lord, I drove all the way up here. I'm ready to get in here, and have the time of my life, but I can't get past Barney Fife with a gun. And she's asking me every kind of question in the world, and I'm answering them. And of course, as soon as she finds out about Bibles, she doesn't believe me. So, and what's so funny about it, Jeff, if you can imagine, buddy, everybody's walking by me. I mean, axe murderers, people with Freddy Krueger mask, Jason from the Friday 13th with a hatchet. They all walking right by me. Like, she don't even question them, okay?
Right,
so,
right.
2 hours later, I just said, Lord, just get me in the gate. Oh, Jeff, I get goosebumps. I said, Jesus, I don't know what's on the other side of this gate, but just get me in the gate. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to hit with my feet's going to hit the ground running. So, and I'm going to back up. I'd already heard that there's 4 guys, possibly 5, that call themselves Juggalos for Jesus. Jesus loves Juggalos. And they basically set up a tent and they just give away free water and free food at the Juggalo concerts. And I thought, man, that's right down my alley. Yeah. I said, man, you got to be kidding me. And so they got a tent. So I wanted to meet them. That was high on my list. So, Jeff, if you can imagine Woodstock and people just park where they want. I mean, it's just, okay, everything's organized getting in the gate, but then once you're in the gate, you just run over somebody. Nobody cares. They'll find them in 4 days, okay?
Right.
And so, of course, trash cans, what was so funny, trash cans everywhere, but nobody uses them.
Right.
I mean, there's this much trash on the ground right beside a trash can. I still ain't figured that out yet, okay? So, anyway, so Mr. Number 1, Bootleg Preacher, he's in the gate.
All right.
And then it is both guns are blazing, rockets bare. Jeff, they were people. I've never seen a family. It was like a family. I mean, I'm serious, Jeff. And once you're in that gate, I could see where if you came in there acting like a jerk, like you're too good for this, you'd be gone.
Right.
I had a buddy of mine said, man, I'd have went. I said, no, they would have had your head hanging from the tent from a flagpole. You wouldn't have survived. You wouldn't survive. But, Jeff, here's why I'm so thankful to the Lord is I got recognized. My buddy that went with me, his friends even texted him on the way and said, man, why are you going with George South? They said, man, he's going to learn it all. And my buddy said, oh, no, he ain't. This is going to be the time of our life. So Jeff, as soon as I got in there, I'll never forget it. As soon as I got there, I mean, I'm just looking at, you're looking in awe. Jeff, there's a huge Ferris wheel right beside a T-Rex. Beside a wagon that sells turkey legs. What else does a man need? Okay? And you got the smell of funnel cakes. Folks, I'm in heaven. Okay? And then there's this huge, the biggest stage I've ever seen. And that's where that night everything's going to happen. The concerts and all this kind of stuff. So that was going to come later. So anyway, I'm there. A man comes running. It's a true story, Jeff. A man comes running down the hill. A Juggalo. First Juggalo I meet, right? He comes running down this hill. He's sweating. He's out of breath. He says, hold on a second. Hold on. I got to catch my breath. He said, George South. He said, man, he said, I thought you were going to beat Ric Flair 30 years ago. Now, Jeff, listen to me. I'm thinking, I'm in the woods with a T-Rex beside me. Now, Jeff, listen to me, folks. I'm setting the stage for what I'm fixing to tell you. Jeff, these T-Rex wasn't these sissy little Barney the dinosaurs. This T-Rex had another dinosaur in his freaking mouth. Blood gushing. Yeah. So I'm talking Juggalo dinosaurs. You understand?
Okay.
This wasn't these little dinosaurs you see on Saturday morning cartoons. This Juggalo dinosaur was eating another dinosaur, and you go stand under it and the blood drips on you. Okay? So, Jeff, I'm telling you, and this is during the day.
Okay.
Listen, nothing started at night.
It ain't even cranked up.
It ain't even cranked up.
Yeah.
The real Juggalos ain't even woke up yet, Jeff. So anyway, so my buddy comes down. We start talking about Ric Flair. He said, man, I thought you was going to win that match. Now, Jeff, here's what I want you people to think about. Here's this fella I just met, okay? He has held on to this part of wrestling his whole life. Now, see, folks, that's what's very special to me is I've been a part of this man, me and Ric Flair, and I'm going to tell Ric Flair the next time I see him about this story, is to be connected to people that for that long, for him to hang on to that. And man, TBS Saturday morning, I remember that, and you had red boots on and red tights. And
well, George, I mean, I'm going to tell you something, though. As a wrestling fan, as a Ric Flair fan, as a Georgia South fan. You do know that match was legendary.
Yes. Now, I know more now than ever.
Of course.
I sure do.
You probably didn't know it at that time.
No.
But you had to know something was up.
Yeah.
When Flair didn't even want to do it.
Right. He sure didn't.
And he told Dusty, look, if we're going to do it, you got to give me Georgia South.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And y'all went for 30 minutes. And that was unheard of.
It was unheard of back then. And for Flair, folks, it's on YouTube. 10 billion people's watched it. And I'm awful proud. I wrestled him a bunch, but that's the one where he gave me the whole match.
Mm-hmm.
And he still, he just did a podcast, The Busted Open, with Tommy Dreamer and all of them, and Bubba Ray the other day, and he brought it up. He talked about how he loved working with me. And folks, I'm going to tell you, you haven't seen Pressure, because back then, of course, the dressing rooms wasn't together. I'm getting kind of sidetracked, but it's just you look up and there's the NWA World Champ, Ric Flair, who was in tremendous shape back then. I've shared with many that the studios were freezing cold, Jeff, and so they had to do that to keep the cameras from overheating. So in the middle of all that, here goes man Ric Flair. But here's this Juggaloo in the middle of the woods, standing in front of T-Rex, eating another T-Rex in front of a wagon that sells turkey legs.
All right.
And we're talking about Ric Flair. Now listen, folks, I love stories about wrestling, but the whole time, I don't forget why I'm in those woods. And Jeff, as I'm reaching for Bibles, because I want to share a Bible with this man, okay? He's been so nice to me. And here's what's funny. He said, you see that tent? I said, yes, sir. He said, that's my tent. He said, but you're welcome to anything in that tent. You need water? He said, I got a cooler. You need grill? I got a grill. He said, I got one chair. And he said, if my old lady's sitting in it, just kick her out. I said, no, I don't think I'm going to do that, okay? He said, I'm just telling you, you want to rest your feet, you can stay there. Now, I shared with you that we had a motel. The wrestlers that were wrestling there, we had a motel about an hour away. And I was very respectful of that, and we used it one night. And that was just not George South. That was not me. It took a lot to get out of the campgrounds, to go to the room, get checked in, come back to campgrounds. I'll never do that again. From now on, I'm an official Juggaloo, and I'm sleeping in it. If I do sleep, I'm gonna sleep in a tent. But yet, listen, it makes you enjoy every moment of it. Jeff, there's people in the trees. I'm not making this stuff up, and they're happy. I'm not saying this is a homeless shelter. Mm-hmm. These people want to be here. They're having the time of their life.
Right.
Jeff. Now listen, and here's what I wanted to share with our great viewers is, and I got so much to say, is they were very nice to me. They were very respectful to me, but there was a side that did not want me to be there. Right. And I'm up in front and I'm honest, Jeff. There's people that knew a little bit about me. They knew all it took is for them to see me give one Bible out, and then it opened up a floodgate. A lot of them were not response. They didn't want one. I mean, I had one guy shot me the middle finger and right in my face. And I said, well, that's all cool. I said, but are you going to take a Bible? And he said, sure. I said, okay then. But he took the Bible. Many of them would come out of their tents, and Jeff, you would be just walking up a hill, and within 3 minutes, there'd be 100 people around you. That's how many people were just in different groups.
Right.
And I'm telling you, I'm honest. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know. My buddy kept saying, George, they're going to nail you to a stake and they're going to burn you. I mean, it's just, folks, I'm telling you, it was not for the weak of heart.
Right.
They were several people. They had a group set up to where that you get branded. They had the different emblems on the branding iron, just like you see something out of a John Wayne movie. Yeah, I mean, this is real, folks, and it's they're not breaking the law because people are wanting it. It's open. You choose whether you want it, and they stick this branding iron, and then oh man, and then they get up and walk off. So Jeff, I had a ministry right there at the branding iron tent.
Right.
Okay, after they got branded, I'd give them a Bible. And so, folks, I'm so proud, and that's why, not because of me, because I ain't nothing. I had no clue what I was doing. I messed up so many times, but I was able to give out 115 Bibles. Jeff, for the 4 days that I was there. And to me,
which, by the way, I speak for me and all your friends here, and a lot of the people right here on Break On Through, man. I am so proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. It does, Jeff. And I just wanted people to see I love Batman, but I'm not Batman. I'm not Superman. I mean, I got my feelings hurt many times up there. I met several people that would show me their satanic markings, and I would tell them that Jesus loves them, and they wouldn't want to hear it. It was almost a spiritual battle right there, Jeff. It was unbelievable. Taking your clothes off and walking around, Jeff, was just normal. I mean, and here's the funny thing about all this, and I loved every moment of it. I want this to be documented on this night, that this was not a bad experience for me. I'm going back next year. Listen, this old crazy bootleg preacher was invited back before any of the bands for next year. You want to talk about something. But here's what I learned, folks. When you walk by somebody, you don't say, "Hey, man, how you doing? How you doing?" You go, "Whoop, whoop." Jeff, you got to remember that, okay? I'm the biggest redneck in the world. But so, it took me 2 days to realize that. Because I was trying to be nice. People walk by and I say, "Hey, brother, how you doing, man?" I nod. They just keep going. Like, brother, get with it, okay? Like, I didn't know. Nobody will even respond to you, Jeff. If you say, "Hey, man, how you doing, man? High five. Give me a little knuckle. You're an idiot if you do that. You're a goof if you do that, Jeff, okay? So I learned that the hard way. But when you walk by and go, "Whoop, whoop," you in. You understand? I mean, that's like the universal kayfabe language that you're one of the boys once you say that. Okay. I gave one lady a Bible, and she held it up in the air. You think you get embarrassed. Listen to this. I gave one lady a Bible. She held it up in the air, stood up on a rock. There's a bunch of just big old rocks that people sit on when you get tired of walking. And so she stood up on the rock holding the Bible up and just yelling at the top of her lungs with me standing down there. I know what she's going to do. And she said, "Oh, I just waited for the day when I came to the gathering of the Juggalos to get a Bible. And she was just laughing at the top of her lungs. But she kept that Bible. Okay? And I know she's just making fun of me and she's making fun of God's Word. But, Jeff, she left with that Bible. So it was the most, energy draining, emotional thing that I'd ever felt. Because you never know when you walked around. Like Jeff, they had in the farthest reaches of the woods, they said that's like not the bad Juggalos, but you don't go there. They said that's just, even during the day, you can stay up here, you can do all this, but there's this, there's cars, and there you can't go no further in the woods than that back group, okay? And so, of course, this old dumb wrestler, let's go, okay? And that's some of the, Jeff, once I got in that segment, they were the nicest people I'd ever seen in my life. Those are the ones that I showed footage of. I had my guy, Dre, I said, "Dre, I want you to videotape this. I mean, if they jump me, if they beat the crap out of me, or whatever, we're going to have it on we're going to be documented, okay? Just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling." And so that was the quick video that I showed, Jeff, of me. I walked into one group. Four guys, I gave 4 Bibles. And you can see me walking away, and every one of them's reading those Bibles. So I can't wait to go back, Jeff. Now, so to share, that's just a taste of, folks, what I went through. I'm going to show you a couple things. This shirt right here, I'm so proud of it, folks. This is, of course, their clown logo, but he's carrying a cross. And this came straight from my guys at the Jesus Loves Juggalos tent, okay? And they were giving away free T-shirts and stuff, so I'm very, very proud of this. I told you Violent J took me to their gimmick stand. Our gimmick, everybody knows about my gimmick table, and I think I'm pretty proud of my one table, okay? And I can hustle and sell anything. And they take me over there, and this whole back wall is like 4 circus tents, Jeff. And I said, "Well, what is this?" And they said, and Violent J said, "Oh, that's our merchandise. That's just ICP's merchandise." And folks, listen, it was unbelievable. I mean, they had 8 or 9 people in each tent working, and it was just all ICP stuff. Old school jerseys. It was unbelievable. And people lined up to get in there. Yeah. Jeff, there was one lady. I mean, and what I'm trying to say is, people were not. I don't even want to use the word mean because that word is not even in the vocabulary of Insane Clown Posse. But they were not afraid to tell you, get that Bible out of their face.
Right.
They were not afraid to tell you that they think this is a bunch of crap. They used, different words, but they said, I don't want this. And I was very respectful. I didn't hold them down and beat them over the head with a Bible, Jeff. I was very respectful of them. One of my favorite stories is I share with you, and the first lady is after 4 days, folks, listen to me. I was there 4 days, and I didn't sleep. I did doze. Like, we went to the ring. Listen to this, folks. You think a wrestling show starts late to y'all? We went to the ring at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Now, Jeff, this is after all of the concerts. So you're thinking, people are going to be so tired and so burnt out, there's no way they're going to cheer for a wrestling show.
You see Brandon here? Brandon told me, he said, he goes, those things don't get like into full swing until about 2 a.m.
Brandon, you're right. I learned that firsthand. So it was about 12:45. We're getting ready to start the wrestling show, and there's still 10,000 people. Nobody went nowhere. They're just the band. One band leaves, another band comes. They just stand there, and Jeff, they are so squashed up against the railing. I mean, they're crammed into this studio, and it's the most beautiful. That's why I tried to take pictures with my old Luthez phone. It's just there's a Ferris wheel at night lit up. There's a dinosaur eating another dinosaur. Jeff, this is like the greatest picture in the world. And so, about 15 to 1, I'm just sitting there in that chair. I got my wrestling stuff on, and my buddy Caleb Conley sitting beside me. And, Jeff, I got so comfortable. I mean, it just felt good. I mean, I felt so at peace, Jeff, and just wore smack out that I dozed off in the chair. Now, I didn't fall out of the chair, but Caleb got me on camera, and it's like pretty cool. I was very peaceful, folks. Exactly.
I want to post that in a few days.
Oh yeah, I got to. George did sleep for like 15 minutes, right. And of course, then we go to the ring. They had told me about the crowds, how George, you just better keep an eye out because these fans from way back in left field, they're going to chuck a brick, they're going to throw a beer bottle, they're going to throw something. Yeah, right. I've been around some fans. Okay, like, come on, I'm a Juggalo now. I can handle anything. Yeah, if I was not in the ring 2 seconds, and here comes this, it had to be a beer can or something, hit me right in the back of the head. And they all should be playing baseball. They can throw so good. But I turned around and said, excuse me, I'm the good guy, stupid. Hit this guy. Hit this guy. But now listen to this. This is the first time. Now, our buddy Nick Gage was there, and also Madman Pondo was there. But I got to see Nick Gage in a death match with a guy with a weed eater. Now, listen to me. I've heard of weed eaters, and guys take weed eaters to the ring. But I'm sitting here thinking about this guy. Okay, he's taking the weed eater in the ring against Nick Gage. Right. Okay, that's probably not the smartest thing in the world you can do. Okay. Now, I would take the weed eater, but my gimmick would be it would never crank, okay?
Right.
Dang it, I forgot that gas can, okay? I'd never get it cranked. But brother got it cranked. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, of course, Nick Gage took the weed eater away from the guy and used it on him.
All right.
Now, buddy, 4 a.m. in the morning in front of a dinosaur eating another dinosaur, and the king of deathmatch is using a weed eater. Jeff, I'm in heaven right now. I'm thinking, nobody is ever going to believe this. Is ever going to believe it. So we go out and we wrestle. The show went from 1 o'clock to like 3:30ish in the morning. Violet J, both of them, was so, the whole ICP. They let me, Jeff, the stage was like here, and I'm like, before the mosh pit. Like, I'm like, man, I got PSL seats to the ICP. I mean, it was, sweat was falling on me, and I was just, it was just in awe when they started. Jeff, listen to me. I love those guys. They've been so good, so respectful to me. But Jeff, and coming from the music side, I had a whole new respect for what y'all do. I know what we do in the ring, but you're up there and you're trying to control, these people and with everything that comes out of your mouth and and you're hoping that they like it. And I'm telling you, when ICP started, it's just two of them.
Yeah.
And they went harder than I've ever seen me in a match. I mean, they went for over 2 hours, just running and jumping and the people eating out of the palm of their hand. And it's a show.
Now, did they do this after your wrestling match, or was it different?
Well, they went on before us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ICP. See, they didn't. See, they're so smart. They're so good. They didn't play every night. So you don't get Elvis every night.
Right.
Okay. Now you get bands. You get bands every night, but you don't get ICP. You don't get Johnny Cash every night in makeup. Okay. So. So they played the first night, the initial night, and then they played the last night. But it ain't just two guys up there with a microphone and in clown makeup. They have a show. I mean, they got the people that come out with them with the dressed up and the fright nights and they got the gimmick, the skeleton gimmick. I mean, you're in awe of it. I'm sitting there going, I think I want to buy a record right now. I mean, I think I want to meet them. They did a meet and greet. It's so related to pro wrestling, Jeff, because everybody wants to meet ICP. Jeff, they did right before the concert. They did a meet and greet in a separate tent, and that line was like Sting for the first time.
Right.
I mean, it's just people wanted a chance to meet him, and you know what I thought was so cool, Jeff, is they did not leave that tent till everybody got a chance to meet him.
Right.
Now, see, when you're backstage, you see who's a jerk and who ain't. You see who really you hear stuff. Okay, they really love their fans. I'm telling you, I don't work that hard for my fans as I seen ICP do. I mean, I just tell people, hey, I'll sign it later, okay? And I hope you walk away, and I don't never have to sign it, Jeff. But ICP didn't do that. They didn't. I heard them say several times, we won't leave this trailer, the tent, till everybody gets an autograph. So, anyway, so I got a few things here real quick, but it was the most, I'm going back. I mean, when it was all done, I posted in big letters on Facebook, I said, nobody really wanted me at the gathering of the Juggalos except the head Juggalo, Violent J. And I didn't mean the Juggalo people. They thought I meant them. No, I'm talking about my friends here. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. If I'm talking about my people here that was concerned and really cared about me, I did not know what I was getting into. I didn't know, I didn't sign my last will and testament and didn't know, I mean, I knew I was coming back, but I didn't know if it'd be in a different different body parts or what. But yet, listen, God was so good. Listen, there was a little gas station. Okay, if you could leave the campgrounds, the Walking Dead facility, there was a little gas station up on a hill, and I bet they made a killing that week because you could actually go in there and get a honey bun. I'm sure the honey buns went up to $42, and my can of Mountain Dew went up to $12 for some reason during that week. But the first day we went in there, and I got an old fashioned fountain drink of Mountain Dew and that good crushed ice, and I was just before I went back into the battlefield, and so we walked out. And Jeff, there were 4 Juggalos, a family, outside. And everybody had little red wagons. I told you, everybody had a little red wagon carrying their stuff in. And so as we were going to the car, by the grace of God, the guy said, George South. And by then, I'm full-fledged Juggalo then, okay? So I go, whoop, whoop, okay? And you're figured in. I'm just telling you, I don't know what that means, but I'm cool, okay?
Right.
And brother says, whoop, whoop. He says it back.
Right.
So Jeff, when you say whoop whoop and they say it back, you in.
All right.
Okay? I'm just telling you that right now. You in. So he comes over to me and said, man, can I get a picture with you? And again, listen to me. I'm reaching for my old Spider-Man book bag. Okay? And so I said, yeah, well, I'll be glad you can get a picture, but you're going to leave with 4 Bibles. So they came over. They were so nice to me, Jeff. We took a picture with the whole family right there beside a car with the trunk of the car up. Okay? So we're having a little bit of a church right there at this gas station. Okay? And so I was able to put 4 Bibles in that family's hands. And they walked off. They said, man, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. I signed the Bibles. And so that moment in time, I may never, ever go back, Jeff. Okay, buddy? But that moment in time, I was able to do something for my Jesus. And that, folks, that's what I'm all about. I had the time. There's still people that can't believe that George South went to the gathering. Not only did I go, folks, but I was invited by the head Juggalo of Juggalos. Okay? Now, that's a God thing. There's no way this old redneck from Gastonia, North Carolina could have connected. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yes,
Our stars would have never aligned. The closest I got to makeup was trying to be Ace Frehley in the 8th grade, okay? That's the closest, Jeff. So now, anyway, I got...
And all this happened because you asked to pray for the guy.
I asked to pray for him. That's how all of this started. People ask me, I had a buddy ask me today from Roanoke, Virginia. We've been friends for years. And he heard that I went, and he said, George, I know what you did when you got there. I don't have to even be told that, but I want to know the story. Like, how did you get there? Like, how did you get behind enemy lines and get in that gate? And then when I'm able to tell him, it was just, and Jeff, listen, folks, listen to me. That day I'm in the Benton Convention Center. I'm getting ready to go to the ring, biggest wrestling show of the year, WrestleCade. I'm just sitting there, and I'm telling you, when the Holy Spirit said, George, you need to go pray with that man. I did not want to go pray with that man. Jeff, he had an entourage, and they didn't look too friendly, okay? And so the Holy Spirit said, George, go pray with him. And I'm thinking, well, Lord, can I do it like right here? Like, can I pray for him sitting right here? And no. So I'm not, folks, I didn't know what to expect, but I knew that God was laying all this in place. And so, Jeff, I went in there. It is pretty cool when Violent J, the ICP, I'll get a text randomly during the day, and he'll just say, man, I love you, and I just want to check on you. Now, Jeff, I don't care what people believe, what they don't believe. That is a God thing. For those two doors to open up for me. And anyway, so I want to show you a couple things. Jeff, first thing. But, folks, I can't believe I done talked for 30 minutes without bringing this out. Folks, I know y'all know all about this. Folks, listen, I am so proud of this thing. Do you realize the first order, and I'm just reminiscing a little bit because I love to reminisce, is we got 100 of these in the first order, and those were sold. And now I have a second shipment in my possession, okay, and I've sold maybe 25. It's brand new, actually, to me, but the second shipment. Now, folks, listen to me. And here's why I wanted to bring this out today. They're still available. You can go to my website. You can chase me down at a wrestling show. I sold, Jeff, I was so proud of these at the other gathering. I've been doing a lot of gatherings. We did the gatherings here in Charlotte. But, folks, I made me a little note. The first batch that I sold to these folks, this is what I want to tell you about, is I was able to bless, I've shared with you before that in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, is the Catherine H. Barber shelter. And it is a beautiful facility. Elizabeth and her family, her husband that run it, actually built it. And she's just the most beautifulest lady in the world. And they just help families. And Jeff, I'm going to tell you, the first batch that I sold, I was able to use that money, folks. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just showing you how good God is I was able to send money to the Catherine Barber shelter from the sale of this. And Jeff, they bought Tide washing powders, okay, which is we take it for granted, but they need it at the shelter. They go through it so much.
Right.
And the second shipment, I was able to send them, and they bought, it was over 100, almost 150 bottles of water. They bought water, just, plastic bottle waters at Walmart and stuff for the families there, Jeff, because it's so hot outside and stuff like that. So what I'm telling you, folks, is God will touch the smallest thing in your life and my life and do good with it. So out of this little CD, Bootleg Preacher, that is, I tell you, and we done did it. I told Brother Jeff here, all I ever want to do is outsell Britney Spears. Okay? Now, we done blowed that out of the water, and we're working on Jessica Simpson. Okay? Jessica Simpson, she put out 2 CDs, and I know I done outsold her. Okay? So, but one day, and it'll be on this program, but folks, one day, mark my words, it may be a couple years from now, but we're going to do me and Brother Jeff, we're going to present me. I don't care if we got a spray paint one. I'm going to get a record. You know how Kiss got the gold record
Mm-hmm.
in a frame for selling so many? Folks, that is my goal that I'm working towards, is one day right here. We're not going to dip it in our blood, okay? Remember Kiss did that?
Right.
No, that was the comic book. I'm all confused here. Steve going to be mad at me. Steve going to correct me on all this, our buddy, okay? So, but folks, I'm so proud of this thing. You can still get it. Be glad to autograph it. I'm so proud of this thing. And we're helping people with this simple CD. So anyway, I'm very, very proud of that. But Jeff, listen to this. Folks, you know that I've talked so much about the other gathering. Jeff, I got this for you. I made this for you.
Okay.
Folks, the other week, all of you know that Jeff came by to see 3 of his favorite wrestlers. It was amazing. We were all together, me, Mick Foley, and Abdullah the Butcher. We didn't plan it this way. The way our tables at the gathering in Charlotte was, that's where we were at to meet the fans. Is really, folks, it was like someone... like Jeff drew it for us. I mean, we were like in a triangle shape.
It couldn't have been more convenient for me.
Oh, exactly.
If I'd have tried.
So Jeff come right through the front door, sat down, and he had all 3 of us right there together. So anyway, Jeff, this is the first time Jeff's been able to see this, but this is an actual lanyard, folks, from the gathering. It was actually one of my lanyards that I had at my table, and then Jeff. That's our picture.
Oh man, okay? That is great.
So that is our picture of all.
Look there, y'all.
That's our picture of the crew. The picture we took that day inside the lanyard.
I love it.
With the date and everything that we got. Now, just a couple other little things, folks. I wanted y'all to see. These were like, I didn't realize how hard these are to come by, but I wanted to show. We got a program for the gathering of the Juggalos. Now, Jeff, this, they gave it. I didn't even look at all this till I got back home. You know how they give you stuff,
yep.
You put it in your bag and you go on.
Yep.
And folks, these things are going for $200 right now. It is the most craziest thing in the world.
Can I see that?
Yes, you sure can. But Jeff, that is like, folks, and I'll open it up. Me and Jeff will show you just a couple pages, but it is full colored. Yeah, it's the lineup for today, folks. I want to show you this. This is a little insert that was with it. And folks, I know it's kind of in white letters, but I should have circled it. Look right here. That says, this is the lineup for the gathering of the Juggalos, and I'm pointing at my name, George South. So I'm very, very proud of this, to be included in this, not with just the wrestlers, but all the bands. There was over 200 bands. Jim,
I'm seeing that.
In this thing. And that there was your Rand McNally map. I mean, when you got on stage to that, and folks, that program itself is state of the art. I mean, they must have worked on that thing. It's got every. You can't get lost with that. I mean, it's got every contest that they had. It's got every activity that's coming up. Even information about next year's gathering of the Juggalos. All of this went on, Jeff, if you can believe it.
Oh, my gosh, look at that schedule.
That's the timeline right there. And so I don't even know why anybody sleeps at all. I mean, when you see something going on. And it was amazing. It was. And they never turned the Ferris wheel off. They never turned the merry-go-rounds off. It was just unbelievable. And while you're looking at that, Jeff, I want to show the people this. I brought this, Jeff. First, in pro wrestling, and I'm going to open up. I want them to see the schedule thing in there, too, Jeff.
Look at this.
If you don't mind, folks.
That's the schedule. That's what all's going on, man. There's something going on every second of the evening. Look at that.
That was unbelievable. And that was, they had 4 stages, Jeff. This is what blew my mind. Like, the main stage that ICP was on, nobody would be on it, but you would still hear music. And I would ask my guys, I said, man, what's going on? I said, oh, no, this is the main stage. Well, there's another stage over there that just constantly had music all the time. And I tell you, what was so cool is the night before everything kicked off, they did this huge concert where they were going to resurrect. They were going to bring back. I don't want to use the word resurrect because this was done in comedy, nothing like with Jesus come back. But they were going to bring back. Michael Jackson was going to make an appearance, and so I thought it was because I didn't know anything. I didn't go to it, but guess what? they brought back my friend Santana Jackson, who does a Michael Jackson imitation. So I got to laugh because when he walked in the tent for the wrestling show, I said, because he is the most realist Michael Jackson guy I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's got, you go to Myrtle Beach and you see the stars, Elvis and him up on stage. Well, this guy, he does Michael Jackson better than Michael Jackson. So he comes walking in the tent, and I said, "Dang, Michael, what are you doing here?" And he said, "Man, I've been here for a couple of days." So what's funny is to see him full gimmick, the hat, the T-shirt, he can moonwalk. To see him walk around and see those Juggalos, see him, they had to be thinking, man, I must have just did some powerful stuff, or that's the real guy, right? And he is so cool. He's got the werewolf head. But so I thought what was so funny, Jeff, is I'm sitting in the dressing room and I'm in there by myself and guys are coming in and I'm just sitting there like I'm saying hey to everybody and I'm just getting ready to just be still for a moment. And so here comes Nick Gage. Nick Gage puts his stuff down beside me, which is pretty cool. He's my boy. Then here comes Santana Jackson. He's got the big werewolf hood. He does a thing where he actually, in the middle of his gimmick, he goes under the ring as Michael, comes back as the werewolf.
Okay.
In the red zip up, beat it jacket. Yeah. I mean, he's got a glove and everything. So he brings all of his stuff, puts it over beside me. He said, "I'm just going to leave this right here." And I look over and there's that big werewolf head. And so I got out my old flip phone and I had to take a picture. Like I said, nobody's ever going to believe this. Like, here it is. I'm sitting in a circus tent. Nick Gage's stuff's here, okay? And then here's a werewolf head with Michael Jackson's red leather jacket, the zipper. And I'm just sitting in the middle of all this. And I'm thinking, and people call me a loser. They say, "You've never won a match, George." Jeff, that's like the greatest moment of it don't get no better. It don't get no better than that. So, folks, anyway, so I want to mention this real quick while we're here. Everybody knows AML and how much I love them, and we just did a show 2 days ago in Salisbury. It's a huge fundraiser for Cases with a Cause, and it's a young man named Alex. Him and his dad, they started this ministry many years ago where they fill book bags up for the school year for stuff for kids and just good people. Anyway, we did a huge fundraiser. We sold it out, 1,200 people right up the road, Jeff, here in Salisbury. Okay. Mm-hmm. And our big attraction was not Matt Hardy, but Jeff Hardy,
right? Who
everybody loves. And Jeff actually done a little concert at the school. How cool was that? So anyway, so we did. I'm in this gauntlet match. Okay, this where two guys start, one guy gets beat, and he's got to leave, and another guy comes, and it keeps going. Well, after all the years I've been doing this, I don't care if you beat me first, okay? Because I'm out of there, okay? Now, most of these young guys, man, I'm staying to the end. I'm staying to you. You go right ahead and stay to the end, okay? George is out of here, okay? So I wanted to. I've done so many stuff. I've scissored the Acclaim. I've fought Joey Janela, Nick Gage. I've done everything in my career, but I've never danced with Jeff Hardy, okay? Right. So I didn't even think I could without throwing my back out. So listen, folks, this is a great little story. So Jeff Hardy comes, and I told him, I said, "Jeff," you better get ready. I said, "I'm going to dance with you." And he looked at me worse than those Juggalos. Like, what? So anyway, it's very special. I posted it on my Facebook page. 4,000 people watched this thing. It's very quick.
It's great.
And so, I dance with him, and then I start, my back. I start showing my back. Out. And so everybody, and here, folks, I'm trying to teach y'all something here about life. I even had people say, "Man, George, you really hurt your back." Oh my gosh, you kidding me? Am I that good, Jeff? Or what they thought I hurt my back? Folks, listen to me. When you're dancing with Jeff Hardy, you don't out dance Jeff Hardy. Okay? Folks, I've made a great career my whole life is elevating people. I did it with Ric Flair. I did it with Dick Murdoch. I did it with Dick Slater. I did it with Lou Thez. I did it with all of them. And I love my place. I know my role. Remember The Rock used to say, "Know your role"? Mm-hmm. Well, I know my role. Okay? And I love lifting people up, and I couldn't dance a lick anyway, but I could just picture some young guy getting that opportunity to dance with Jeff Hardy, and they would try to outdance him. Does that make sense, Jeff? They would try to do it better than the man, and no, that ain't how this works. So what better way for me in mid dance to grab my back? I threw my back out. That's all I got, Jeff. Okay, and he could have went all night, so it elevated him, and fans didn't even know what I was doing. I'm expecting to get well cards. Yeah, you know, people go call the hospital and see if I'm at the hospital, a back brace or whatever. But you don't outdance the man,
right?
Especially when he got such a reaction when he came to the ring. It's just mind-boggling to me, and so that was a very special moment for me to get to do that, and not only to dance with Jeff Hardy, but to elevate like he needed me at all, but he's the man.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, folks, if we could all learn to do that, whether it's at work, whether it's in life, whatever, at home, it's so much easier just to lift somebody up, Jeff. And I did that with my man, Jeff Hardy. So we danced, and then we're gearing up for this, folks. This is what I wanted to show you. Now, Jeff, listen, we could do a whole nother show on September the 7th. That is my birthday.
Okay.
Oh, Jeff, can you believe this morning that I actually done, folks, don't adjust your television set. I actually done an old-fashioned newspaper interview this morning.
What?
Can you believe that?
There's still newspapers around?
I couldn't believe it, Jeff. I thought it was a joke. So we're going to Morganton on my birthday, September the 7th, and it's going to be George South's birthday. I've told everybody, don't come if you ain't bringing no gift, okay? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not.
No, he's not kidding.
You know, you come, you ain't got no gift for my birthday. And then I already heard that it's another wrestler's birthday that day, too. But I don't care. They better not bring me one cake with two names on it. I'll be hot, Jeff, okay? Brother can celebrate his birthday the next day. I'm serious, folks.
But Chris Wilson says it's his birthday, too.
Oh. Well, see, I'll share it with you, Chris, okay? So they ain't another wrestler getting my gifts. So, anyway, they asked me to promote the show. Could I do an interview? I said, sure, I'd be glad to. This morning, 9 a.m., they said, the guy will be waiting for you. And I'm thinking it's maybe a podcast or something. They said, oh, no, he writes for the newspaper. And that's the first time in 30 years I've heard that. I didn't even know people. I said, you mean a physical newspaper that they still get in the box? I didn't know there's even newspaper boxes. And he said, oh, yeah. So people still subscribe to the newspaper. So,
and this is where, in Eden?
This was at Morganton. So it was very, I don't want to say weird, but it was kind of, because you're the guy's old-fashioned recording you, like they did back in it, like Bill Acker used to do when he would interview you. So that was kind of special. So anyway, we did that this morning, and that's going to be September the 7th. But at the end of September, this is the first time AML. Everybody knows how much I love this company, and we're gearing up for WrestleCade. Yes, please. We're gearing up for WrestleCade in November. But at the end of September, this is the first time that we've ever done this. 2 shows in one day in Eden, North Carolina. Now, Jeff, listen to me. They can go to AML.com and get more information. There's a special ticket where you can come to both shows. But folks, here's what I want to share with you. What is so special is when I was 18 years old, 10 minutes from where this show is going to be at, I wrestled Lou Thez in an old YMCA building.
You probably heard George talking about that as we came on the air.
Buddy, in Eden, North Carolina. Now, you talk, I don't know if that's good or bad. My careers went full circle and I'm right back in Eden. No, I love Eden. My good friend Chris Nelson's there, him and his lovely wife Erin, and they do Preppy Pirates Outfitters. They got a huge T-shirt company business up there, and they print T-shirts. And I love it because how ironic, and I think the old building that I wrestled Lou Thez in is still standing. So it's going to be kind of special. It's for me. Now, I've been to Eden a couple times since then, but this day we're going to the National Guard Armory, a huge armory, but we're going to do 2 shows in one day. So, and you can get all the information. I think the first show's at 3 o'clock, the second one's at 7, but 10 minutes down the road. I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, I knew who Lou Thez was, because he was like 60 or 70 at that time, okay? Still in great shape, but he was in another dressing room. And here it is, I'm 18. Listen, I'm the man, Jack, at least in my mind, okay? And bro, I had like 42 girlfriends. I was driving a 76 Trans Am in Gastonia, eat up, with Bondo and rust on one side. My Trans Am was so bad it only had half an eagle. That's a true story, Jeff. My hood only had half an eagle. That was pretty bad. So if I dated your daughter then, I had to go by there at night because I didn't want her to see my rusted up Trans Am. But I love that car, Jeff. I remember it had an 8-track, not in the radio. It had an 8-track below it. I don't know if you remember that. Right. So the radio was here, but here was the 8-track. And I swear that the eject button was wound so tight you could actually mass eject. And that it would
fly out.
It would shoot an 8-track in the back seat. Yeah, I swear it would.
Yeah, it was those console.
Yes, it was. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And I actually got so good that I could open up. You remember we used to have the big black 8-track box that you carried all your 8 tracks. It was as big as a toolbox, like a fishing toolbox. Remember that? And man, I could actually, and it would be velvet, red velvet. Remember, it would have the inside. Oh, it was so beautiful. I could actually open the lid in the back seat, and when the weather was just right, I could hit eject, and it would shoot that rock and roll all over Kiss 8-track, and sometimes it would land in that case. That's how good I was. So anyway, so they told me Luthez, he wanted to see me. I'm sitting here thinking I'm the man, okay? Like, what's this old man going to tell me? And okay, yeah, right. Well, you tell him I'll come over there whenever I'm ready. And I was so stupid. Lord, I was so stupid. So anyway, I go over there. Here's Luthez. You know, he 65-something years old. I knew who he was from the magazines. Folks, there was no internet. It was all magazines. But I knew who this man was. But he's in my town, okay? I was so stupid. I was. And I remember like it was yesterday, I was going to tell Luthez what I was going to do to him. And he corrected me real quick. Told me I wasn't going to do nothing but just shut up. And so when we got out there, he beat me to death. I mean, he was so strong and wiry at that age that I think he broke a rib that's still hurting to this day. But I learned a very valuable lesson. He told me you ain't going to do nothing but just shut up and listen, and that's what I did. Okay? So anyway, to go back to Eden, North Carolina, you know what I tell people real quick is I tell them, you can't be a jerk. You can't. Not just in the wrestling business or the music business or in life. You can't be a jerk, Jeff, because it will come back. I'm telling you, our forefathers and our grandpas and even in the Bible, it'll come back. And my luck, it will. And Jeff, I got one more story real quick. Listen, this could only happen to me, folks. Now listen. So we just did a show Saturday, okay, up in Denver, North Carolina. A little boy named Riley. He's 9 years old, and he needed a liver transplant, okay? So we brought the family in, and we're doing a fundraiser for little Riley, okay? We had a belt made. He loves Spider-Man. We had a real wrestling belt made for Rilo. We want to raise money for Rilo. So the gymnasium's a beautiful gymnasium right there in Denver. So listen to this, Jeff. So we set the ring up. The bleachers are out. It's the beautifulest sight in the world. So listen to me, fans. This can only happen to me. So I give everybody a break. They run and get a sandwich, but I love staying there because I'm setting up my table and it's my time, okay? So the girls volleyball team at that high school had just finished practicing. No big deal, right? So I'm sitting at my table. The girls are leaving to go catch their rides. So one of the girls said, "Oh wow, a wrestling ring." And they said, "We love wrestling. We love wrestling." So all of a sudden, here's this girls' volleyball team. They're imagine, folks, when you're in high school and you see a full-fledged wrestling ring sitting in your gym, right? So you think that's like the coolest thing in the world. So matter of fact, one of the girls said, "Hey, can we get a picture in the ring?" No big deal. I said, "Yeah, sure." And my buddy Dre White, my guy, I said, "Dre, if you don't mind, go help them, get in a ring and use their phone and take a picture," right? Jeff, the most greatest moment, I'm getting ready to get presented with the Nobel Peace Prize, okay? I mean, I've just felt good about what I did, right? Yep. So that we take their picture with their phone, give them the phone, no big deal. They leave, no big deal. So I'm pretty excited about what we were able to do. They all leave with smiles on their face. Jeff, listen to me, buddy. Folks, listen to me. It's how crazy our world is. All of a sudden, here comes this lady. And she was marching. She was on a mission. She was one of the coaches. She comes in there right after this. And Jeff, she's not happy. And she gets almost right in my face and she said, "Hey, that picture," she said, "that can't be used on social media." And I'm on the defense here. So I stand right up, Jeff, and I said, "Well, okay, calm down, lady." I said, "That's fine with me, but you need to tell the girls that because it's on their phone, and if it gets on social media, it's them. And this is what did it for me, folks. If you think my blood pressure, and I'm gonna tie all this into the Juggalos. So anyway, I start getting mad because first of all, lady, you got to calm down. Second of all, don't we act like I've done something wrong here. So, but then she said, "Well, who did they ask you for that picture?" She asked me that. Did they ask you or did you ask them? Oh, Jeff, I know. I'm so mad right now when she's doing this because I'm thinking.
I understand.
Wait a second, lady. Now I don't know what she's insinuating. I don't know what she thought just happened. I don't know if she thinks I'm a weirdo or whatever. But I go on the defensive, Jeff. Oh my gosh! And so I cut a stone cold interview on her and tell her, you better not fuss at those girls. All they done was they got a picture to show their friends. They in a wrestling ring, and we took it with their phone and gave it to them. Okay, so they would have it forever. And then that lady, she said, all right, okay then. I guess we're okay. No, and I said, no, excuse me, no, we're not okay. We're not okay. So I followed her out in the parking lot. Still, like, you can't just say your piece to me and I don't get my rebuttal, so I'm following her out in the parking lot, yeah? It's a Saturday afternoon. And I said, man, wait, you want my information in case you have any questions later or whatever? So she just got in her car, drove off, and we'll never hear anything else about it. The girls got their picture. They're very happy to show their friends. And this is what I'm trying to tell you people here real quick. The lady told me, she said, anytime those girls' picture is on social media, they have to sign a release, which I knew that was a bull crap because if they get their picture in a newspaper for a ball game, they don't sign a release. Yeah, you can put, you understand? So don't be, get away from me, ladies. So anyway, what I'm saying is, folks, I survived. I wanted to go back to the Juggalos. I wanted to go back where it was safe. Okay? So, folks, I survived 4 days in the wildest Juggalo jungles with dinosaurs eating other dinosaurs and had the time of my life. I get back to civilization in the real world, and that happens.
Right.
And I guess what I'm saying here, Jeff, is has our world got that crazy to where I'm never going to walk on eggshells to where I can't bless people? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Like to have those girls.
And to answer your question, this world has gone upside down, topsy-turvy crazy.
See, and it took my buddy to say, George, I know, because it went way over my head, folks, is what I'm sharing with you, is my buddy said, George, she thinks you're up to no good. And Jeff, that bothered me. That, first of all, lady, I came in here and set up a wrestling ring and 300 chairs and pulled out the bleachers if I was up to no good? Like, when does common sense, kick in? And so, here's what I told her, and then I'll shut up, is I said, ma'am, Monday at practice, you better not punish those girls. Those girls did not do nothing wrong by wanting to get a picture in a wrestling ring. And I hope those girls share. I don't know any of them. I just put a smile on their face, and I hope, Jeff, that they are able to share those pictures with their friends, because it's a cool thing. I don't care who you are. You get to stand in a wrestling ring with your friends. A real wrestling ring is a cool moment. So anyway,
fun. But before we sign off, I got a few announcements I need to make, and then I got something to give you before you go back to the house.
Oh man, yeah.
All right, but
the next episode, me and Brother Jet, we're gonna paint our face like Juggalos. I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, tune in for that.
Tune in.
But I just want to let y'all know that Antiseen will be at the Beer Olympics 2024 this coming weekend at the Masquerade in Atlanta, Georgia. We will be playing on September 1st, Sunday night. So if you're going to make it, even if you can't make it, be there. So, and something else on the horizon here. I have Long-Haired Weirdo record releases number 007 and 008 are now in my possession. I should have had them out so I could show you, but it's the 2 Dallas Tetanus 7-inch EPs available right now. Go to the Big Cartel Store. They're on there. And George, as always, it's a pleasure having you on this show. I mean, I appreciate it.
Buddy, listen, I shouldn't have ate 3 pieces of pizza before I came in here. I want y'all to know that. So, guys, I got to tell you a quick story real quick. I brought little Coleman, my little buddy, I brought him some dinosaurs. That these things, I'm on his dinosaur kit, but these dinosaurs are all interchangeable. They got a little screwdriver, and I'm sitting here telling poor Coleman, I'm giving him like a 30-minute speech on how these things are put together. You got to use a screwdriver. You got to get Grandpa to help you. You know, this is very technology stuff, and you probably got to Google it to see how to use it. And I swear, I felt good about myself. 5 minutes later, that kid's got every one of these dinosaurs took apart with a screwdriver. And I still don't know how he done that, folks. So I'm hoping, I'll be a nervous wreck tomorrow about those little screws, but First Lady promised me. But folks, I ain't making that up. I mean, I can't figure out how to do it. And that kid took that screw. He knew. Think about that for a minute. It's a little screwdriver this big, folks. He knew to take that screwdriver and undo that screw.
He's always seen me, doing stuff around here. So he watches and learns.
No, he does. And folks, I think we'll never see this screwdriver again. He'll never do that. Now look, there's screws all over the floor in here at the White House.
So look here, man. I got you one of these. I'm gonna show the people.
Oh,
now what says North Carolina?
That's it.
Rick, Dale, Liver Mush, and Antiseen.
Oh, that's my favorite too. Oh, my favorite. Oh, Jeff, thank you.
That's for you.
Oh, I need this. No, this will be my shirt this weekend. And folks, you think we're crazy? You ought to go up north and try to get liver mush.
I know you ain't gonna do that.
You know,
they look at scrapple.
Yeah, they look at you like you. But Jeff, thank you, folks. Thank you for sharing. Let me share my story with the Juggalos, the gathering of the Juggalos. Me and Violent J are just best of friends, and I've already, all joking aside, they've invited me to come back next year. They do a Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and I'm part of that. But folks, I'm going right back to the woods. I'm not leaving to go to a motel. Okay, and everybody said, well, "What are you gonna do about a shower?" You just hang a left at the oak tree, and they got everything you need. They got portable showers. I will tell you a funny story, and we're gonna sign off here. My buddy. Folks, I want to tell you that if people just want to take their clothes off and walk around, they did. Okay, I mean, you're a Juggalo, right? So the joke was that my buddy Dre White, that was with me, for some reason, every time he was there was a pretty girl walking around. Okay. Now George, and I didn't ask for any of this, but the only ones I could draw attention to was the opposite of the pretty ones. Okay, Jeff.
Right.
So they were all laughing at me that. There's no way I went there to be up to no good,
right?
Because I couldn't even do that right. Okay, I couldn't
be up to no good, right?
I couldn't even be up to no good, right, folks. So if that's any encouragement to you, I would even mess that up. But man, 115 Bibles was planted. I got to pray with some great people, met some great friends, and man, I'm going back. Juggalos.
Well, man, as always, like I told you, not only for your wrestling career.
Is that true, Jeff? Look,
he's
Argentina.
Chino Castel from Argentina.
Wow,
tuning in with us tonight.
Oh, I love that.
On through.
Oh, I just noticed that. Thank y'all so much, man. That's cool.
Well, I just want to say, as always, so proud of you in your wrestling career, but I'm really proud of you in your walk with Christ.
Thank you.
And what you do, and you inspire a lot of us.
Man, I appreciate that. That means more to me than anything. And wrestling opens that door.
Right.
It really does. It's just amazing. And people say that, George, you never won a match, buddy. I'm gonna tell you, I've made a career out of not winning.
Right.
Hear me?
Yep.
Praise the Lord,
I know.
man. But they remember that Ric Flair. He beat me up 30 years ago.
That's right. And that match still holds today. You can watch that match today, and it's still as great as it was watching it the first time it happened.
And Jeff, you know what I love about it? Rick remembers it. Of course,
yeah.
I mean, I ever say, yeah, of course he does. But no, he doesn't just shoot smoke to tell people, I wrestled George South in 1980-something. He remembers the details of calling me Ricky Steamboat. And the reason he did that for me is the aggravation of Dusty making him get all sweaty and having to go catch a plane to fly to Florida or Portland or somewhere. So it's so cool that he's hung on to that.
Right.
In all of his life.
It meant something to him.
It sure did. It sure did. So Anyway, great show tonight, Jeff.
Well, thank you, man. It's always great having you here.
Whoop, whoop, Jeff.
Whoop, whoop.
You got to end every show now by saying whoop, whoop. I just hope we ain't like, that ain't mafia language for cussing somebody out and we don't know it, okay? So, but no, that's it. I know it now. Just don't do it at Walmart here off of, 29 in Charlotte. They don't understand whoop, whoop up here at the Walmart paint aisle.
But listen, I'm going to tell y'all, we got a lot of stuff coming up in the next few episodes to break on through. A lot of stuff in the Antiseen world. A lot of stuff in Long-Haired Weirdo Records world. And, of course, a lot of stuff in George South world. Oh, man. And you're going to hear about all of it right here. And as always, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I hope you have a great week.
Thank you.
An even better weekend. And we'll see you next Tuesday right here at 7 p.m. on Break On Through.
Thank you. Whoop, whoop.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Good show. Thank you for my shirt, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Is this a new one or have y'all had
Yeah, it's a new one.
Oh, yeah.